Hi there, welcome. I'm Rabbi Nachum with the Las Vegas Kollel. The Chafetz Chaim, towards the end of his introduction, in his footnotes, he addresses a concern that people might have about him publishing the book. And he says, there are those who might argue that, look, now that people have this book available, the laws of Lashon Hara available, is it really solving any problems? People still speak tons of Lashon Hara. Even though the Sefer Chafetz Chaim has been published and is available to the masses and people study it every day, people still speak Lashon Hara. And the Chafetz Chaim says we might be tempted to ask, what's the point of writing such a book? What's the point of studying such a book? We're still going to speak Lashon Hara if we're being honest with ourselves. The Chafetz Chaim tells us one of the most profound ideas, I believe, when it comes to spiritual growth in general. So often in our lives, we find ourselves with certain struggles, certain challenges, spiritual or otherwise. And we go and we think that if we can't totally solve the problem, there's no point even trying to improve. If I can't stop speaking Lashon Hara entirely, then why should I even bother studying the laws? And of course that's a fallacy. The Chafetz Chaim argues if we could just improve our Lashon Hara, if we just mitigate how much we sin when it comes to Lashon Hara, that's an amazing accomplishment. If we could just reduce our Lashon Hara by, 5%, 10% a day, that's a tremendous accomplishment. We should be very proud of ourselves if we just reduce the amount that we speak, even if it's just by small margins. That's a tremendous accomplishment. Chafetz Chaim points out, the Talmud tells us, people who are hefker, people who have no regard to speaking Lashon Hara, they're considered Balei Lashon Hara. These are people in the category of people who speak Lashon Hara, and the Talmud speaks very negatively of such people. And the punishment for someone who's a Baal Lashon Hara, someone who's just completely has no regard for the laws of Lashon Hara, that's not a good place to be. But the Chafetz Chaim says, if we're trying to improve, even if we don't have great results, we only reduce our Lashon Hara by 5%, 2%. The Chafetz Chaim says, well, we're not Balei Lashon Hara anymore. We can't be considered as people who have no regard for the prohibition. After all, I'm studying it. I'm trying to improve. And although I may still occasionally speak Lashon Hara, even if I speak a lot of Lashon Hara, but because I'm studying the laws, because I'm taking it seriously, I'm mitigating how much I speak. I'm reducing it, even if it's just by a fractional amount. I'm trying to improve. That's a big deal. And that's a big deal when it comes to Lashon Hara. And I would argue it's a really a big deal when it comes to all areas of personal growth. There's a fallacy of, if I can't totally solve the problem, I'm not going to bother even trying to improve it a little bit. And that, of course, is a mistake when it comes to almost all areas of our lives. Even if we're still going to be imperfect, if we could reduce those imperfections by 10%, 5%, we're so much better off. And we should recognize this truth and make sure we study the laws of Lashon Hara. Even if we still mess up, even if we still find ourselves in the same patterns of gossiping and speaking negatively about one another, at least we're not Balei Lashon Hara. We're not totally, have no regard for the laws of Lashon Hara. We're trying to improve and we're taking one step at a time. And that is a very, very big deal.